Welcome to the holiday edition of Second Impressions. This is our Stay On's web series where we break down real questions about marketing and provide business leaders with insiders' insights on important issues. I'm Trevor Heaton. I've got my colleagues Greg Bond and Eric Wolf with me today. Gentlemen.
You didn't tell us to dress up, and I'm personally very embarrassed.
I got red. That's close enough.
Hey, Miami. You know, that's Christmas in Miami t-shirt.
Perfect. We'll go for it.
Yes. Welcome to the holiday edition, guys.
Happy holidays.
What did you get me?
I got you the same thing you got me. Nothing.
Actually, we got you glasses.
It's not.
You got glasses and some.
It's not actually the way that I remember it, but go ahead.
Oh, you're right. I got you something.
Charging pad.
Okay.
It's in the mail.
Right.
It'll be delivered because I can't personally deliver it myself because we are in a year of COVID.
There was a Grubhub gift card and everything.
There really was. So,
but fine.
Yep. So who's on the good list and bad list? I asked you guys a question last episode. So Eric, is Greg on the good list or bad list for 2020?
Oh, Greg is unquestionably on the naughty list.
Oh, come on. I'm going to defend myself here right at the outset.
But
it's got to be good. In 2020, everybody's just trying to get by.
But he's entertainingly so. And so I think that for good quality entertainment, you call Greg and you definitely forgive his sins for that.
All in good fun.
It is. So what's Eric on, Greg?
Eric? Well, you wouldn't believe how much he's been taken from the company.
And we're not talking money.
That's the beauty of marketing is that I think in a lot of ways it's viewed as the taker of money because people don't know what they're buying. So speaking of, let's
do we got a question?
Thank you for the segue.
Question, I think around that.
Yeah, no, we've got MF who is a training consultant. His question for us, or her question, is social media is a conundrum for me. I'm personally investing hours every week on LinkedIn. My team is working on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. When will this effort turn into business for us? This is a great question. And I know in this year of COVID, people have really been turning towards social media, some type of tool, since they can't directly interact with their customers to grow their business. We personally had a couple of these conversations with customers recently. So this is really timely. MF, I don't know, Mick Fanning, whoever that is. I'm a surfer. That's where I go. Let's kick it off with who wants to take this? Greg.
I'll take it.
Edit.
I think that with social media, I touched on this in the last episode, is that we're always going towards these things that we work with, that we know people that use and stuff like that. But I think what's misunderstood about a lot of the things that we interact with is how they're used and what purpose they can serve to potentially achieve the business goals you have. It sounds like this was kind of like a Field of Dreams strategy where it was like, if you build it, they will come. And there's plenty of times when you can have success and do well in social media and not have that pan out into anything. Because depending upon the platform, all platforms are specific. So the term social media is like, throw it out the door, because each medium has a message and a way of using it and a purpose it could serve. But social media, I would say in general, is going to be more branding oriented, especially for B2B businesses. If you're a B2C business, as long as you have like a transaction value that makes it relatively attainable, or something that's like really catchy in a moment where there's this like ability for an impulse buy, and probably a lot of people that have watched this have done something like that on Instagram, for example, where you're like, oh, that looks cool, and you get it, and then it's not that great, and it was something you just kind of wasted like $20 on. And that's a perfect use case of when you have that like ability to drive transactions through a social media platform. But for the vast majority of businesses that offer services or whatever it happens to be that isn't that short of a sales cycle where you could just go with this impulse buy area, then social media is going to serve more of a branding orientation where it's meant to build awareness. It's meant to basically let people understand what your value is. And then eventually over time, as you keep appearing and showing up for the people, and hopefully you're doing it in a way that is positive and it's entertaining them or making them laugh or whatever, then maybe they'll be ready to make a purchase decision or at least start researching in that area. And you'll be part of that mix of people and brands that they're doing research and considering in their process. So it's really about expanding your reach, building awareness. And then hopefully what that does is if you have a large enough sales funnel that's already built up and you can modify and optimize that process, what you're doing is you're feeding the front of that process so that more people are coming in the top of the funnel, which is already the most inefficient area there is. So you better be doing everything else right already.
Right. And
so
you
basically it's like this last step.
Right. No, that's a great point. I mean, my father, half my Christmas gifts literally come from those quick posts on his Facebook, and he can click on it, check out, put our last name on it, and it's a Christmas gift.
Exactly.
And I've got a whole closet full of those that I've never used.
Which is a good analogy because it's like if you can't sell it on QVC, then it's probably not going to work for a sales channel on social media.
So then you're creating impressions, you're creating engagement, you're creating awareness for people out there in hopes that they remember your business and come to you when they need your service. MF is a training consultant, so obviously that's not a quick sell. That's going to be something that's going to take a little bit of time. You're going to have some meetings. You're going to have to review what it is they're training on and how your business can utilize their service. Yes. So it's a very different approach, right?
Absolutely. I think Eric has something to say about this.
I wasn't really listening. I was too busy counting the money that Greg just accused me of stealing.
He's Scrooge McDucking over there. You should see his feet. He's just kicking gold coins.
I got to like $87 and I just gave up. So I think that Greg has made some really, really good points. I think that a couple of things. Number one, I think that there's another thing that's happening where we're living in a time, and especially when we're still dealing with the COVID thing, I think that this is a great time for marketing, and it's less of a great time for sales. I think it's a great time to market things and to start conversations, but to expect all of those conversations to reach a conclusion or a positive conclusion in times like the ones that we're living in, I think that feels a little bit uncertain, and I think that we should be prepared for that. The other thing that I would say is that it's really great at filling in the gaps. You have a conversation with somebody, and then they're engaging with you in other media, like perhaps on LinkedIn, like perhaps email, or maybe they're following your YouTube channel. You could follow this channel, by the way, on YouTube. But you've got these things that are filling in the gaps when you're not there. Right. You've got things that are helping you do a little bit more talking and carry on conversations when you're not physically present to do so. And so I think that there's a really great role for social media, but I think that the problem is really kind of like what Greg was getting at is that a lot of times we're just expecting the wrong thing. We do something and we're like, why is my phone not ringing off the hook? Why am I not getting 1 million new sales leads? Why am I not right now up to my ankles in 87 brand new dollars? You're just doing this work and you're expecting it to pan out, and you don't. There isn't always that line from point A to point B that you want.
Right. And actually, this just hit me. We had some customers back in 2008. I know we had talked about doing some case studies on that as well, but the people that marketed through 2008, when we also had a downturn in business, That's also, is that relevant to the social media where you're putting your name out there, you're putting impressions out there, and you're helping carry your business through, which is a difficult time for a lot of business.
I think that's one of the things that like Eric was touching on is that I've been trying to explain this in kind of different ways depending upon this sensitivity of the topic with the client. But what matters in marketing isn't that you're always making millions of dollars. What matters is that you're doing relatively better than your competition. And so you can be facing headwinds as an industry, such as like the hospitality industry, service industry. There's so many things that are going on in those spaces that are making it difficult to succeed in any capacity. But the question is basically, how do you lose less than the competition? And when you do that, you're making up market share. And so it doesn't feel like success. But what happens is those who survive and don't fail as hard as their competition tend to then pick up those waves, those initial waves, and ride them in much bigger ways once their industries and segments go into recovery. And so with social media, it's a great time, just like we're putting these videos out, to be considering all those other ways to basically fail less.
And it's cost effective for that. It's cost effective for building awareness, for building engagement. It's cost effective as a mechanism to help you stay in touch. It's cost effective as advertising media. There's a lot of ways that you can win on social if you evaluate it by the right metrics.
Yeah, we're only worth about like a penny a day, which is why it took Eric like 8.5 years or something to build up that $87 safety valve that he has. But
I do want to cover quickly. So I think we did touch on in many ways. When will this effort turn into business for us? And
it might not. Like it, depending upon the style of business, it may never turn into that like sales channel that you would expect. But what it can do is build up your signal online and make you look like an authoritative voice, which will help contribute to SEO efforts, the content generation that you're building. If you know things are performing well, then you'll know what to put in your emails and on your website. So these are things that they're intel. You can't take away, even if it doesn't directly lead to sales, you can't take away the things you learn on these platforms. And so I would figure out ways to harvest the learnings that are going on.
And not only that, but consider a baseball game. If you're talking about the baseball game and you say, well, I won the game today. And the next question is, oh, wow, how many home runs did you hit? Well, that may not be the right metric. We might have done a lot of things that set up, or maybe we hit one home run, but it really counted because of all the things that we had done to set that up, all the good plays that we had made on defense, the good base running, getting people in position to score. We don't need to always be looking at the big result. We've got to pay attention to the small ball also, because that matters. Because when folks are shopping us, and assuming that we're not in an impulse type of industry, that we're in an industry that has some kind of a sales cycle, we need to do a lot of things right in order to make a sale. I don't know many B2B salespeople that are standing around and being like, well, I didn't sell anything this month. Did you sell anything this month? No, I didn't sell anything this month. Well, geez, did you write a blog post? You know, that's not the difference maker. That may be a thing that makes a difference. It's going to help. It's going to help without a doubt, because when people, that you're creating tools that you can use to share with people, you're creating value for people who follow you on these platforms, and an excuse for them to stay in touch with you. You're building that that authority, like Greg said, and that validation for the people that do come and shop you. There's a lot of really good stuff that you're doing, even if it's difficult to draw a line from point A to point B and say, that was a sale, that was a sale, that was a sale, and it was all because of my social media effort.
Or you could just, do financing options and make it your $400 product cost 12 easy payments of $29.99 or whatever.
Right.
Like,
awesome, guys. Yeah, no, we went a little long on this episode, but I feel like it's really good information that a lot of businesses out there are really looking for right now. And this is something I think a lot of businesses are trying to do and convert that to business. So appreciate all of your insight on this holiday edition.
Everybody have a good, safe holiday.
Yes.
Stay
I'll
healthy.
tell you what, the first person that does a quote from the movie of this guy, we'll send some Astound swag to.
That is my opposite. Oh, nice.
There you go.
If you made it to the end of this video and you could come up with a quote, you get something.
We'll send you something.
Not applicable to employees or family members of Astound.
And only in the 50 contiguous states.
Some restrictions do apply. Only one entry per. All right. Thank
I'm
you.
going with the first
Happy
person.
holidays.
Happy holidays, everybody. If you have a question, shoot it to the email below, secondimpressions@astound. Appreciate you tuning in this time. Be well, stay safe. Happy holidays.
Later, everybody.